This episode of the Low and Slow Barbecue Show is sponsored by the Southern Barbecue Network. Since 2010, the Southern Barbecue Network has sanctioned barbecue tournaments to further their goal of preserving a Southern tradition by providing well-trained judges to contests that are raising money for charitable causes in the Carolinas. In addition to supporting charitable barbecue competitions, the Southern Barbecue Network also donates annually to numerous local community organizations, hospitals, and nonprofits. To find out more about the Southern Barbecue Network competition program and barbecue judge training classes, please visit sbbqn.com for more information. Again, that is sbbqn.com.
Southern Barbecue Network's fall season is winding down with 3 more events and 2 more competitions where pitmasters can stamp their passport for the Southern Barbecue Network Invitational in November. The first of those events this weekend, October 24th and 25th in Charleston. Sons of American Legion Squadron 147 is presenting the 19th annual Pro-Am Barbecue Cook-Off. And today we've invited organizers of the festival, Chris Nissoff and Al Simmons, to join our podcast and talk a little bit about it. Gentlemen, welcome to the Low and Slow Barbecue Show.
Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, great to have you. Before we go too far, I'm going to hit you with the hard question. No warm-ups around here. If you have to pick a barbecue sauce to use, what is it? Vinegar and tomato, mustard, KC Masterpiece? What are you going for?
Go first, Chris.
I'm a vinegar-based. I'm a vinegar-based barbecue sauce guy. I don't like the mustard too much. I just like that good old vinegar. Yes, sir.
I concur. That's my favorite also. I make
vinegar, huh? Okay. Well, so Al, let me ask you this. We spoke a little bit before the call. Quickly, take a moment to describe the Charleston barbecue scene for our audience.
Well, I'll tell you, it's grown dramatically. Obviously, with Lewis's barbecue, Anthony always mentioned Swig and Swine. Home team's been here forever in Bessinger's, but it's just amazing what these guys have done to bring it to Charleston and expand it to what it is at the level it is now. Yeah.
Anything to add to that, Chris?
No, I think that pretty much covered it. There's a lot to choose from in Charleston. You've got lots of choices, and it's all different, and it's all very, very good. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know you called out Lewis. Paul Mira is one of my favorites out in West Ashley. Love to get there when I'm visiting friends. We'll talk more barbecue. We're going to talk more with Chris and Al and find out about the Sons of American Legion's 19th annual Pro-Am Barbecue Cook-Off coming up October 24th and 25th. First, a quick invitation for our audience. Please visit our website, lowslowbbqshow.com. You'll find episodes about other Southern Barbecue Network competitions like Hogs and Hens and events from the spring, Goat Fest, and Pork in the Park. Our blog's also full of other festivals, barbecue recipes, reviews, and barbecue opinions. That's right. I've got opinions sometimes. Check it out at the blog. And don't wait to sign up for the newsletter. It's still free, and you can get the latest Carolina barbecue news and events into your email on Tuesday. Of course, every week our newsletter updates the schedule for food trucks, fundraisers, and festivals, including this year's event that we're talking about today. Again, the Sons of American Legion Squadron 147's 19th Pro-Am Annual Barbecue Cook-Off. It's happening October 24th and 25th this weekend in Charleston on Folly Road. Things get going Friday at 7 o'clock. And before I give any more of the details, guys, I want you to talk about it. Tell me what is happening for the big SAL Cook-Off this weekend.
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, we've got 2 nights. We've got what typically was called the Anything But contest. We kind of modified that a little bit. We just believe that on Friday you ought to be able to eat anything. Cooks should be able to cook whatever they want, whether it's barbecue, just whatever they want. We've had everything from desserts to brisket to lasagna, you name it. But we just kind of opened it up a little bit. The only thing we asked is that the cooks didn't do any pulled pork samples. We want to save that for Saturday when we let our participants go around and visit the cooks, the rigs to sample the competition pork that they actually turn in. So, but we called it Anything Barbecue for Friday night, and so we've got that going on Friday night, and got a live band out there. And Saturday, we're after the turn-ins, we're going to let the public go around and visit the cook sites again and taste that competition barbecue that those guys turn in that morning. So a good event for the come with an appetite, and just a great event to really interact with the cooks and just taste some really good food, some of the best of what they've got. It's always been wonderful, and we're looking forward to for our participants to really enjoy some good food.
Maybe tell us a little bit about who's involved, how many pitmasters you're going to have, and who's organizing the event. I mean, obviously the Sons of American Legion, but tell me who's behind it and how many pitmasters you guys will expect for the competition.
Well, we've got a committee with the SAL. We put a committee together, and we pretty much we've changed some of our. In the past, we've done it a little bit different. Go back in time a little bit to when this all started 18 years ago. It really started as a local competition, just with the local guys, about 10 teams. They only did butts back then. But then it kind of morphed into butts and ribs. They got the Southern Barbecue Association on board to come in and vote. To come in and judge the actual products that they cooked. The Southern Barbecue Association stayed with them for several years. They lost I guess after a while they lost their contact with the Southern Barbecue Association, so they lost that ability to do to be judged. So one of our ex-commanders reached out to Southern Barbecue Network and got them on board about 8 years ago. So we've stuck with them. They make the competition fair. They make it professionally judged for all contestants. And they've been wonderful, wonderful organization to work with, great people, great judging, and it's worked out. We've really pushed hard. This committee I just mentioned a little while ago, we've really pushed hard to build the event back up, to reach out to local cooks for the amateur side of everything. The pro side of it, we've through the years, we have a good collection of pro cooks that we've stuck with through the years, and they always come back to the post. They love the event. They come from all over the place, Columbia, Goose Creek, all around the Low Country. They come on down and participate. So we're excited. We got 8 pro teams right now that are on board and 6 amateur teams, local amateur teams that are on board. So we are really excited about that.
Yeah, so maybe while you're talking about the pros and the AMs, talk a little bit about how the pros and the amateurs fit together. Do you feel like the amateurs have a chance to contend with some of these pros? Do they normally? And how does that ordinarily work out for the competition?
To me, it's that's the way it started, was just local AMs, and then all of a sudden it's morphed into bringing in the pros. And this year, we're actually allowing the amateurs to compete, and they're going to be scored exactly the same way as the pros are. So they have a chance, if they come in and really do a good job, they have a chance to win the grand champion. So we wanted to mix it up a little bit. The other part of that is that the amateurs this year, they will be able to compete also for their own, winnings, if you would. So we're having 2 categories, but the amateurs can compete. They just will not get the SBN points.
I gotcha.
But they will still be able to bring in if they've got one they think they can compete with, they can bring it and potentially win both the amateur and the grand champion.
Okay, so in the past, have y'all had separate categories for the pros and the amateurs?
It's never been where they win money.
Okay.
Right. Is that correct, Chris?
Yes, sir. Yeah. And I don't even think, I honestly can't remember ever doing a pro-am mixture. It's always been kind of amateurs it's never been really called that. I guess many pros have come in. We know they're pros. They compete. But mixing the two together like we are now, we've made it a little bit more of we've just made it more pronounced. We're making we're pushing it as pro-am, but there's always been, since I've been involved for about 5 years, there's always been the big heavy hitter pros that come in with the rigs and the heavy equipment, and then we've got the little guys that are just as good with that grill, but that they just don't do it, they don't spend as much time doing it. So I guess we'll call those the M's, but they've always been able to compete. There's always been great competition between the two. The two different, I guess call them divisions, but just the two different levels of cooks that we're talking about here. So.
I got you. Okay. So let's take a moment and help people understand what they're going to experience there. Maybe set the scene a little bit for us for Friday or Saturday. If I come out to the festival, what can I expect? What will I see, and how will I get involved?
Chris, you want me to take it? You go ahead.
Sure. We've, we do it. We're going to be Friday. Like I said, Friday night. We're going to be. You'll come on site. We're going to, you'll purchase. We'll sell you we're going to give you a wristband. We're going to give you some tickets. You're going to go on site, and you're just going to kind of walk the grounds. We'll have some games out there, cornhole, some odds and ends. We have a live band performing starting at 6:30. That'll play through the anything barbecue tasting. But it's just a nice. We have wonderful grounds there. They're well manicured. It's a really beautiful little spot, and people can just come out and enjoy walking around to the different cook stations, listening to some good live music, playing some games out on the grounds, and just basically, just relaxing and enjoying some good food and voting, and then voting on it and picking their favorite. We have a full canteen inside that people can go in, and we'll have raffles and going on. We've got some raffle items. So one of our big sponsors, Ace Hardware, threw in one of the RecTech pellet griddle.
Wow.
Yep, as one of our big raffle items. So we are really excited about that. 50/50. We'll have some normal raffle items out there, all kinds of different gift certificates and things like that. So it's just a lot going on, a lot to see, and just a really great environment and a good facility.
So Friday night, there's going to be public voting. That's going to be the People's Choice Award, as I see on your flyer here. Then Saturday, it will be judged by Southern Barbecue Network, and you guys, of course, will announce the winners. But there's also going to be barbecue pork tastings for the general masses, as well as, in addition, there's pulled pork lunches. Tell me a little bit about the barbecue offerings that people experience on Saturday, when they're not voting.
Well, we're not as far as excuse me. The Saturday, we're not necessarily voting. We're just letting folks get out there and taste.
Sure.
Southern Barbecue is they're going to do all the judging and put all those points together. We'll get all those numbers together. But the tasting is just for the public to taste. We decided this is our first year. We've made some pretty significant changes, so we didn't want to, we didn't want to push the envelope too far. But one of the things that we really all agreed on is that, these folks come to taste, to taste barbecue. In the past, we've served lunches, and but people really, they want a good pulled pork lunch. But I think part of the experience is you want to go to these places, you want to go to these different cook sites, meet the cooks, and spend time with them, ask questions to them. Ask some of their secrets if they're willing to come off little secrets, and taste what they turn in, what the good competition stuff tastes like. These guys they're none of them are the same. You think, these guys have their own, they've got their own secrets, they've got their own methods. And I'm really excited because this is the first time we've done this, and I have never participated in this. And I'm super excited to actually go around to the different sites and taste what some of these guys are cooking. Because unless I know one of the guys or I have time to go and spend time with them, I don't get to go hang out with them and taste some of the stuff that they've made. So it's we're really excited about that.
Yeah, that's fantastic, because you're exactly right. In a lot of these instances, they're going to have the competition, but you might not get to taste that competition barbecue. There'll be other food vendors there, but y'all are really starting something, sort of innovative, I guess, in some ways, to try to offer another way for folks to taste the barbecue. Why do you guys feel like you needed to advance, the event in this type of way here, only 18 years into it? Why the changes?
So we've seen just more of a decline in just customers.
Okay.
So we felt like we needed to up the game and just really be able to present, some things that customers would like. And we actually talked to several of our friends, several of the people at the Legion, and it really came up to people want to taste the competition barbecue. And we want to make this a family event. So what we've done is we've put all of these the puzzles of the pieces of the puzzle together. So we're starting a new foundation so that we can grow this event because we have the space to do it. So this year we have made several changes that we think will invite. It'll be very incentivizing for the customers coming. And really that's been our plan, is just try to get more people there, families, and make it family oriented so that that'll help support the Legion as well as support. We can give money back to the local veterans that need it.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the Low Country Veterans Home in just a moment. I know that's who the event's going to be supporting, and that's always a big part of the Southern Barbecue Network events. But maybe talk a little bit more about some of the other new things that you guys are adapting. I know you've touched on a couple of them, but is there anything else we haven't mentioned to try to create that more welcoming environment and try to get more people involved in the event?
Well, we've one of the things we added on was we want kids to be there, so kids can come in for free. Kids can come in and participate in the tastings. With their kids 10 and under get in free. We've also good idea that Al had was to go out. He purchased I don't know what you purchased 100 pig noses.
100 plus pig noses. So, we just really wanted to make it inviting because we know if the kids are coming, the parents are going to come. I mean, that's just the way most of these events work. So we just are starting to think of some ideas of what would be neat for the kids to have, like, hey, they can get a pig nose, get their picture taken with it. And really our plan is, like, when we go into next year, we wanted to get this base down, even look at doing a jump castle, doing some things that are really, because we've got such a great visual of where we are on Folly Road, that it's truly amazing of just all the cars coming by. So we might as well take advantage of it. So.
Yeah, and definitely for folks who don't know, if you know Charleston, you probably know Folly Road, but definitely a busy and getting busier road that goes all the way out to Folly Beach. And I kind of pulled it up on Google. It looks like y'all have got a large property where the location is, so a lot of room to accommodate cars and people and bouncy houses, I guess.
Yes. And the good news is we've got great neighbors. They've allowed us to, through neighbors over where we're going to be able to use their parking. So we'll have all of our customers park over there, then walk over to the event on the same side of the road to make it safe. And we've got, as you can see through Google Maps, we've got that really awesome pavilion. So even if we did get a little bit of sprinkle or whatever, then there's a place for people to go and listen to the band still.
Yeah, that is very cool. Great. You got to keep all those kinds of things in the back of your mind. That we're gonna hope for good weather for you this weekend as we check that out. It looks like that we've lost Chris, but we'll continue the conversation here with Alan. And thanks so much for sharing some of your time with us. What do you think it's going to take for somebody to come in and win this competition? As I see Chris has rejoined us here, but I was just asking Alan, and maybe Chris, you can weigh in too. What do you feel like it's going to take to win this competition this year?
Well, yeah, I think it's going to, right now, a lot of the amateurs that we have been doing this for a long time, and they know a lot of the pros. So I think they kind of have an understanding of what these pros are going to be bringing with, the game they're going to be bringing. So I think that'll entice the amateurs to up their game. So I think it's really going to be just an outstanding event with some amazing barbecue.
I know Chris said he'd been on with it for 5 years, but maybe you could talk a little bit about how you guys got involved with the festival.
Sure. We I've been part of SAL for some time, and like I had mentioned, never really been a part of the organization of this. I've been to the event for over 10 years and have always loved it. It was more of a local gathering, getting to understand what the pros do and all that. And they invited me to be a part of it just because of my past experience and handling a bunch of other bigger events. So that's the reason I was brought on board. And we started a committee back in March so that we could really be organized for this. And we put a lot of foundational items in place and making some changes that I think will really improve and allow us to grow this to as big as we want it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So, Chris, hopefully you can hear us. Maybe tell us a little bit about how you got involved in the event.
I joined the Legion about 5 or 6 years ago, and I heard about the event. I missed that Friday night. I was out of town. I came back into town Saturday, rolled in Saturday to help out. And I heard about the good time on Friday night. They had a good rip-roaring time. That was a lot of fun that night. I missed it. They threw me on, I think I sold T-shirts and 50-50 tickets and raffle items. And I just stayed at my post that Saturday and had a good time meeting people, just met a bunch of wonderful people. Spoke to some people about the Legion. I just joined as a new member. And just decided, this is an enjoyable event. I want to stay on board and do whatever I can to help moving forward.
Yeah, great. So what about you guys in particular, personally, in your personal barbecue story? Are you involved? You smoke meat low and slow, or you just go out and taste it and organize events?
I do not cook any of that. I just taste it. So
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm about the same. I like to play around with the charcoal a little bit, but I've got a long way to go.
Well, that's okay. Maybe you can get some tips coming up at the festival this weekend. Again, it's the SAL, or the Sons of American Legion Squadron 147 19th Pro-Am Barbecue Cook-Off. And guys, since you aren't going to talk to me about your experience, your expertise at barbecue, maybe tell me what it takes to put on a good competition. What in your mind makes for a successful event, and what's it going to take for the event to be successful this year?
what do you think, Chris?
Teamwork.
Yeah.
Teamwork. We've had one of our members, one of our SAL members, has pretty much organized this event since it began. He's done it by himself, which is mind-boggling. He got busy last year. He's got a young little boy. He's got family stuff to tend to, and he decided a couple years ago he was going to bow out and kind of hand the duty over. I picked it up, and I learned just how much work that young fella had been doing through the years, and I said, I can do this. Well, no. Which is one of the reasons. One of the reasons that kind of I believe that one of the reasons we kind of our participation dropped off a little bit. It's not a one-man job, and it just we hung in there. We did what we could. We had a good event. It was successful. We did raise some money, but the teamwork. I decided I needed to enlist some folks to come on board, get some more ideas in there, get some more boots on the ground with this event, and it has paid off. Guys like Al. We've got a young lady, Melissa Price. She's been a great to help with us as far as swag for the contestants, and our sponsors: Ace Hardware, LaFon Law Group, FRS, and Lowdown Kitchen on James Island. They've all helped out, and we're really happy to have them on board. And it's just the team. It's really having the team has been a great thing. It's been helpful as far as carrying, helping out with all the different duties that are involved in putting an event like this together.
Anything you want to add, Al?
Chris nailed it. I mean, the team we have together right now has been amazing, and the other part of that is the other members of SAL and even the Legionnaires themselves. We've been able to lean on them and get some guidance. And every single one of them, like, hey guys, we like the new ideas. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. But they've been able to really provide us some good information to help grow this thing.
Yeah. So again, it's all for a reason. The event's going to support a charitable organization. We do want to be sure and talk about that. Tell me about the Low Country Veterans Home and how this event will support that organization. Maybe talk a little bit about what they do.
So I know I work with them. I'm sorry, I have a 2-year-old lab trying to get out of hand here. So I've worked with them before, and I know that they really do a good job of housing veterans that have, just need a lot of help. And they have some certain stipulations, whatever, but they've really done a lot of good in the neighborhood. And they're literally on the outskirts of a neighborhood, so they're involved with the community. So at least what I've seen, they've done a good job.
Yeah, and they just invested some money. They're on a house, right? I can't remember the name of the street, but right on James Island, and they just finished a major renovation to that house. Redoing the floors. They had some issues with the floor system in that place. They redid all the floors to make it more accessible for the fellows that are handicapped and need some accessibility help. Really cleaned up the place. I went over there and visited when they had to get the fellows out of there for a little bit while they were finishing the project. But they really did a great job renovating the place, and they've got I believe they've got 15 rooms that they can house. I believe it's 13 to 15. I can't remember the number offhand, but but a really nice facility. They keep it up well, and we're excited to support them.
That's great. So I can tell both you guys are passionate, and you've been involved in this event, and not as just as an attendee, but now as an organizer trying to get it to grow. As we kind of wrap it up, I just want to put it to you one last time. Why do you guys do this? What keeps your fire burning? And maybe first Chris, and then I'll let you answer. Why do you guys do this?
I just enjoy being involved with events that anything to help people. To in this case, help our veterans. That's the main reason. But I like working with people. I'm a school teacher. Been a school teacher for several years, many years, and I just enjoy working with people, helping people, and being involved. With the American Legion, a wonderful organization that supports our veterans, just does a lot of good for the community, and it's just an honor and a privilege. I did not serve. I'm a son. My grandfather was a World War II veteran, but it is an honor to be a part of something that where I can honor my heritage and my grandfather, and just all of the other the family members of all of our members that are fortunate and enough to be able to be a member of this organization.
Al?
Yeah, I concur with what you're saying. To me, we wouldn't have this luxury without our veterans of just being able to do events like this and really give back to our community. And I know that's Chris's heart, as well as everybody that's part of this American Legion and the Sons of American Legion. We like to give back and help others. And this event has been doing that for like 18 years, and I just continue to see it growing, and we can give back more to the community. And especially as our community is growing, we're getting a lot more veterans there right now, just because Charleston is I think quadrupling pretty much. Mm-hmm. But same thing with Chris. I love helping people and just the camaraderie. We've got such an amazing leadership team there at the American Legion. The team members and just all the members themselves are just listening to their stories is pretty amazing. And if we can help them in any way, we want to do it.
And that, my friends, is the final word from Chris Nishoff and Al Simmons for the Sons of American Legion Squadron 147 and the 19th Pro-Am Annual Barbecue Cook-Off. Guys, thanks so much for joining the Low and Slow Barbecue Show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jigger.
And, of course, you can join Chris and Al and the Southern Barbecue Network team in Charleston this weekend, Friday and Saturday, October 24th and 25th. It's happening at 968 Folly Road in Charleston. If you know Folly Road, it's that white building with the castle-looking top on it there at 968, the American Legion location. Of course, things get going Friday night. There's going to be live music from the Shaken Martinis, the raffle tickets, 50-50 drawing, anything barbecue contest, and then on Saturday, more live music. You don't want to miss it. You also get a chance to sample some of those championship barbecue entries there. Remind you that the Southern Barbecue Network has more details at their website, sbbqn.com. You go there and you can get more details about the cook-off, as well as 3 more dates on the Southern Barbecue Network calendar. It's November 1st in Lincolnton, Georgia for the American Legion Barbecue there. November 8th is the Lions Club Southern Barbecue Network Invitational in Moncks Corner. And then November 15th is the Vicious Pig Throwdown in Stedman, North Carolina. Again, all the details at Southern Barbecue Network, sbbqn.com. By the way, we interviewed Vicious Pig, Bobby Brinson, last year on the Low and Slow Barbecue Show. You can find that episode at lowslowbbqshow.com. Look for the Lori's Ace Barbecue Battle and the Vicious Pig Barbecue to hear Bobby's barbecue story. While you're there, visit the blog. It's got event details, barbecue news, recipes, plenty more. You can also sign up for our free newsletter and get the latest barbecue news delivered to your email inbox on Tuesday mornings. This week, we had the results from the Hogs and Hens Southern Barbecue Network competition in Abbeville. We also had some breaking news from the Carolina Barbecue Festival. You don't want to miss that. They've announced some of those pit masters exclusive in the lowdown. Subscribers to our newsletter got the details on Tuesday. Just subscribe. We'll send the latest Carolina barbecue news to your email inbox. You've been listening to the Low and Slow Barbecue Show on the Mesh.tv network of podcasts. If you like what you hear, visit other podcasts in the Mesh network. There's everything from comedy with Madigan's Pubcast to movies, gaming, health, and entrepreneur advice. Just give them a listen. Also, I hope you'll give us a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast stream or share our podcast with your barbecue friends. Of course, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Thanks again to our guest today from the Sons of American Legion. Thanks as well to everyone at the team at the Mesh.tv network of podcasts, especially our producer, Andrew Moose. Finally, thank you for listening to the Low and Slow Barbecue Show. I'm Chigger Willard reminding you that for the best barbecue and the best barbecue podcast, make it low and slow.